An image can speak 1,000 words, but when it's unexplained and surrounded with mystery, even experts are left completely baffled. So here we have 5 images that to this day continue to confuse us and leave no definitive explanation. The Madonna with Saint Giovanni. The Madonna with Saint Giovanni is a painting from the 15th century. It depicts Madonna with the infant Christ and Saint John the Baptist, and is believed to have been painted by Domenico Ghirlandaio, although the artist and the origin of the painting cannot be confirmed. The painting currently hangs in Palazzo Vecchio in Italy, and if you take a look, you can see Madonna in the front with the infant Christ and Saint John the Baptist, and a shepherd with his dog in the background. But it's not the main image that stirs up controversy and imagination, it's the spot in the sky above the lady's shoulder. On closer inspection, it appears to be a dome-shaped metallic-looking object with light spheres radiating from it, much like the traditional-looking flying saucer we know of today. And what is the man with the dog looking at? It seems he is staring in wonder at this strange object, whilst his dog appears to be barking wildly. If you look closer, you can also see what people believe is a finger coming from the sky pointing at the object. People say that many native paintings of this era were known to show glowing clouds with angels emerging from them, with adoring shepherds looking on in amazement. But what makes this photo special is that does not look at all like a cloud, and the fact planes or anything of the sort hadn't been invented. What was the painter trying to show? Is this the artist's impression of what he actually saw in the sky all those years ago? Don't forget, this was painted in the 15th century, so if he did see something, he couldn't have taken a photo, and a painting would be the only way to show it. So, many say that this is an early sighting of a UFO, and proof that aliens really do exist and have been visiting us for centuries. Due to its age and the lack of information on it, it seems you will never know the true meaning of this painting. The Cooper family ceiling ghost. In the 1950s, the Cooper family moved into their new house in Texas, America. On their first night, Mr. Cooper decided to mark the occasion by taking a photo of Mum, Grandma, and his 2 children sat around the dining table. They all looked happy and smiling and were living the so-called American dream. But when the photo was developed, the image behind them shocked and unsettled them. It appears to show a body falling from the ceiling. People say it seems to be wearing a white onesie-style pajama and is facing the camera but has a completely black face. Apparently it was not there when Mr. Cooper took the photo, so what exactly was it? Was it the apparition of a deceased former resident of the house, unhappy with the new owners encroaching on his or her space? Many think the photo has been cropped as the family don't appear to be central, but was the photographer just not very good? After all, it was taken in the 50s, so camera technology would not have been as good as it is today. Or maybe it was an error in developing. There were many so-called ghost photographs in the 1950s with the belief that they were created accidentally by errors in developing, as it was common at this time to reuse film, meaning that 2 separate images could be developed on top of one another, often resulting in a strange image. But there's something about this photo that sticks out, and it's apparently been examined by experts and they have deemed it to be genuine and not a result of a double image. So what do you think? Is this image fake? Maybe someone was hanging off the ceiling, or maybe it's proof that spirits do exist and show themselves when we least expect it. Despite the theories on this eerie image, to this day it still remains unexplained. The Black Knight. The Black Knight has been around for quite some time now. It is claimed that as far back as 1899, long before Sputnik and NASA, that Nikola Tesla picked up signals from an unexplained source in space, and to this day it still remains one of the most fascinating space objects captured orbiting our planet. This so-called artificial satellite also caused major media interest in the 1950s, when UFO researcher Donald Keyhoe reported that 2 satellites had been detected in space, but at that time no known satellites had ever been launched from Earth. Initially, the US were panicked into thinking the Russians had secretly beaten them to space, but this later proved to be unfounded, and for many years, the US and Russia have shown particular interest in this unidentified space object. Apparently, many signals from the Black Knight have been picked up, and there have been various sightings. It was first photographed on the 3rd of September 1960 off Long Island, and over the years there have been several other photos taken, proving that there is no doubt that something is up there. It was also seen in 1963 by astronaut Gordon Cooper as he was returning to Earth, but curiously, reporters were not allowed to question Cooper on what he saw. The official explanation was that Cooper was hallucinating due to high levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Again, in the 1960s, the object was located in the polar orbit, and this was when astronomers and scientists calculated the object weighed over 10 tons and was moving twice as fast as any man-made spacecraft. Then again in 1998, the spacecraft Endeavour captured several images that many people believe are of the Black Knight. To this day, it's believed the object is still orbiting our planet, and even NASA have given conflicting explanations as to what it is, often appearing reluctant to discuss it. Experts believe it is over 13,000 years old, but still have no clue as to what it is. Maybe this mysterious object that continually orbits our planet is an extraterrestrial attempt to communicate with the human race. If so, who placed it there? Whether you think Nostradamus' predictions are correct or not, people point out that he once said this: "Mankind will discover objects in space sent to us by the Watchers." So, is that what it is, or is the Black Knight, as many people suggest, just a piece of space debris? I guess until it's properly analysed, we can only continue to wonder. The mysterious purple glow. This next photograph was sent to me by Max. He sent it in to me after watching my 5 creepiest ghost sightings video, and it's well worth a mention. He lives in New Jersey, USA, and was a member of a paranormal investigation group. In October 2006, one of their projects was to explore paranormal activity in an old house in Morristown, New Jersey. The house is a 3-story dwelling, possibly dating back to the 17th century, and had been owned and lived in by several different families. Over the years, many sightings of ghostly apparitions have been reported in the house, including a little girl playing in and around the rooms. A soldier in red battle uniform and an old man with a shovel have also been reported, as well as the usual eerie cold spots experienced throughout. During their investigation, this photograph was taken by a member of Max's group. It was captured on the 3rd floor in a storage area located at the side of the house. Over 161 photos were taken that day, but this is the only one with anything unexplained on it. 5 months before their investigation, this photo was taken, which shows the area where the mysterious photograph was shot for comparison. You can see that there's nothing in the room that could cause the glow, and the yellow dresser on the side of that one image is just there because the house owners were in the process of moving. So what exactly is that purple glowing anomaly? Max has thought about a possible explanation, but the surrounding area was wooden and the only metallic objects were not close enough to create any glare. Now, Max is a skeptic. He was the one person in the paranormal group who readily explained away any unusual activities. In 5 investigations he did as part of the paranormal group, he never seen or felt any evidence of ghosts or paranormal activities, but even he cannot explain what was captured in this photo that day. Could it be built-up spirit energy, which people say does appear in such a way on cameras, but since so few people have seen this image, the explanations are limited. So Max and I want your thoughts and explanations on what this mysterious purple glow could be. The Falling Man. September the 11th, 2001. A date etched in our minds as one of the most tragic days of the modern time. A heinous act of terrorism that saw nearly 3,000 people perish when the Twin Towers were destroyed. The images caught on camera that day will haunt us for the rest of our lives, in particular the images of the 200 people who jumped to their deaths. But it was one of these images that was the most controversial and unforgettable of all, the Falling Man. It was first featured in the New York Times the day after the attack and was branded offensive, upsetting and insensitive. The image was withdrawn from the public view for over 2 years, but as time passed there were calls for the photo to be investigated. Who was this man? The image was captured at 9:41 a.m. The man jumped from the North Tower of the World Trade Center and is believed to have been trapped on one of the upper floors. It's believed the man was of Latino origin with a goatee beard and possibly dressed in a waiter-style tunic and trousers with a distinctive orange undershirt. This suggests he could have worked at the Windows of the World restaurant at the top of the World Trade Center. One of the men linked to the photo was Norberto Hernandez. This theory divided his family as his deeply religious daughter and wife did not believe he would have jumped and angrily denied it was Hernandez. The family of Jonathan Briley, who also worked at the Windows restaurant, confirmed that he wore an orange undershirt, and his surviving co-workers believe it could have been him, although no official identity has been proved. The iconic image of a brave man who had no choice in his inevitable death, but who was able to somehow take control and soar in an almost graceful dive, arms flat to his side with his left leg bent at the knee as he confronted his fate with quiet dignity. The identity of the man still remains unknown, but the image will forever remind us of the bravery of those who experienced the horror of September the 11th, and to ensure their memories live on forever. So that's 5 unexplained images. I hope you've enjoyed, and a special thanks to Max for allowing me to use the image he sent in. Thanks for watching, and see you next week for a video a lot of people have been asking for: 5 theories on the death of Elisa Lam.